habits are everything. Everything. I think that we are trained in habits from when we were children, including potty training and when to cry and when not to, and how to smile and when not to, and all of these things become habits. These are all behaviors that we learn and that we then integrate into ourselves. And then what ends up happening when we're older is that we're a collection of thousands, maybe tens of thousands of habit loops that are constantly running subconsciously, and they're internalized. And then we have a little bit of extra brain power in our neocortex for solving new problems. And so you become your habits. And what really brought this to light for me is our friend, our trainer, gave me a routine to do every single day. And before that, I had never worked out every single day. And it's a light workout. It's not tough on your body. But I did this workout every single day, and I realized just the incredible, astonishing transformation that it had upon me, both physically and mentally, because I think to have peace of mind, you have to have peace of body first. So that taught me the power of habits. And after that, I started realizing that it's all about habits. So at any given time now, within a 6-month period, I'm either trying to pick up a good habit or I'm discarding a previously bad habit. And it takes time. So for example, if someone says, I want to be fit, I want to be healthy, but right now I'm out of shape and I'm fat, well, nothing is going to work for you in 3 months. It's going to be sustainable. It's going to be a 10-year journey, at least. And in the 10-year journey, what you're going to do is every 6 months or every 3 months, depending on how fast you can do it, you're going to break bad habits and you're going to replace them, or you're going to pick up good habits. So I think it is all about habits. There is nothing else. I'm one of these people who wants everything, right? So I don't want to give up anything. So for example, if I want to stop eating bad foods, if I want to lose weight by fixing my diet, I don't go around, I don't say, these foods are bad, I'm not going to eat them, and then suffer and then feel like I'm not eating tasty food. Instead, what I do is I do some combination of changing my taste buds to actually like the foods that are healthier for me, and substituting unhealthy tasty foods with healthy tasty foods, so that I can sustain it forever. I'm not interested in anything that is unsustainable or even hard to sustain. I want my life to be effortless. So once I've created a good habit, it has to be the kind of habit that I can sustain with no effort. The classic example for most people who have successfully lost weight in the last decade is most of them, not all, but most of them have been on some variation of a low sugar diet, or a paleo diet, or something where they're just, or a slow carb diet where they're just watching the simple carbs. And if you stay in one of those diets for a little while, what you realize is you lose your sweet tooth. And when you drink like a sugary drink, it's an overwhelming amount of sugar. It just doesn't taste good. So I think there are ways to fix your habits and do it in a very sustainable, gentle way. Mm-hmm. So most recently, I've developed a lot more Japanese tastes in eating, which has helped me a lot, because now the food that I find tasty and flavorful is actually not sauce, not curried, not cream, not carb. And I find that kind of food sloppy. I find it hard to even look at. When you face reality, that is when you will change. So I always look upon suffering as a teacher. Now, it's hard to do when you're actually going through it, but when you're not, that's how you should prepare yourself for it. So in this case, I actually had a bacterial infection, is what it turned out to be, but it could have been a lot worse. So my internal state was bad. I was unhealthy and not feeling well. So literally in 1 week, I dropped alcohol, caffeine, dairy, red meat. Went completely zero carb. Basically, I just switched entirely to meat, salad, water. And all my bad habits disappeared overnight because my body was giving me a very tight feedback loop. Oh, eat the wrong thing, you feel terrible. And so that was a gift, because when I'm 41, my body turns around and tells me, this is how you need to eat to be healthy. And if I ate perfectly, then the symptoms were a lot less worse. Now, it was a bacterial issue, antibiotics killed it. But it was actually amazing, because outside of the issues that I was having from the health condition, I felt great. I felt high energy. I felt clear-headed. I felt light of feet and light of mind. An internal state of revolution. And so you should always be internally ready for a complete change. Whenever we say, I'm going to try to do something, or I'm going to form a habit, or I'm going to become something, we're sort of wimping out. We're just saying to ourselves, I'm going to buy myself some more time so I can just limp along. When the reality is, most of us, when our emotions want us to do something, we just do it. If you want to go approach that pretty girl, or if you want to have that drink, or if you really desire something, you just go do it. And so when you go about saying, well, I'm going to do this or I'm going to be that, you're really putting it off. You're giving yourself an out. So at least if you're self-aware, what you can say is, okay, I say I want to do this, but I don't really, because if I really wanted to do it, I would just do it. Or I would commit externally to enough people, all my friends and family, and they would say, hey, I thought you were going to do this new thing. You're going to stop smoking. You're going to stop drinking. What happened? Why are you drinking in front of me? For example, if you want to quit smoking, all you have to do is literally go to everybody you know and say, I have quit smoking. I did it. I give you my word. I am done smoking. That's it. That's all you need to do. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead. Right? But most of us say that, but we're not quite ready for it. So we know we don't want to commit ourselves that extremely. So because of that, I think it's important to be honest with yourself and say, okay, you know what? I'm not ready to give up smoking. I do like it too much. It's going to be too hard for me to give up. I'm not going to be able to replace it. So let me set a more reasonable goal for myself, which is I'm going to cut down to the following amount per week. And I'm going to commit to that externally. And I'm going to work on that for 3 or 6 months. And when I get there, then I'll take the next step as opposed to beating myself up over it. So I think you're right in that when you really want to change, you just change. But most of us don't really want to change. We don't want to go through the pain just yet. So at least recognize it, be aware of it, and then give yourself a smaller change that you can actually carry out.